So this video is going to show you how to use a cool little tool called the Welcome Window widget. All right, so let me go back to my regular course, not my play course that I'm using for these videos. And as I showed you before, I have announcements up top, which is what most of us will do because we want students to read the latest announcements. And then all the contents down here is a visual table of contents and our calendar and tasks on the right-hand side. Problem is, when we used Blackboard, we'd put an announcement in, we'd click the box saying send email to everybody, and not all students were looking at their emails. And even if students were looking at their emails, if they weren't reading it in time, they'd come into the page, and instead of reading the latest announcement, they would go right into lecture notes or labs or whatever it was. So the nice thing about this Welcome Window widget is it forces them to read something before they can go off into any other part of your Brightspace course. Okay, so let me go into, I want them as an example to hear from former students. Okay, so here are some videos from former students giving future students advice about how to be successful in the course, which is, I think, something that everybody really ought to have on their page because students are going to trust what their peers have said about a course more than an instructor, because as an instructor, we all think we have the best course ever, right? So what I do is, every semester or so I ask a student, would you mind recording a 5-minute video about, what you did in the course to be successful? What were the most challenging parts and what you liked about it, what you didn't like about it? And I'll give you a little bit of extra credit or something. So for example, this one's a good one because Lauren last summer wanted to drop the course after week 1. And I told her that it was too soon, and if she asked for help and really puts her mind to it, she could be successful. And of course, she ended up with an A in the course. All right, so I want students to see this right away. So I'm going to click Edit HTML. Now, I think the Edit HTML is a little bit of the wrong wording there because this is not HTML. All right, this is just like Edit in Word. If you actually want to see HTML, you click this little guy over here, and there's the source code. So if you know how to do HTML, that allows you to do a few sort of interesting things. But basically, this is just like a regular editor. I'm going to highlight this, Control-C, copy it. Now I'm going to get away. Okay, because I want to use that as my pop-up in my, what I call my play class. So let's go back to my play class. Okay, so now I have to create a window widget over here. All right, this is Visual Table of Contents. So I'm going to go into Course Tools, Course Admin. This is always where we do all our power stuff. I'm going to click Home Pages because I'm adding something to the home page. I'm clicking my default home page. Okay, and we know we have the announcements here, calendar tasks, and my visual table of contents. I'm going to add a widget called the Welcome Window widget. Okay, and it's going to appear there. Now I'm going to hit Save and Close. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the course home. Okay, there's my widget, all right? Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to go into Content. I want to add a module, so this is important. When you do add a module, just title it Welcome. And spell it correctly, dummy. Me, dummy. Okay, and in here, you want to create a file. Remember, a file in Brightspace was like a folder in Blackboard. So create a file, and the important thing, it must be titled Welcome and just Welcome, nothing else. Okay, I'm going to hide this from users because I don't want them to see this more than the first time they come into the class. So let me paste in my information. I'm going to hit Save and Close. Okay, so now it's done. So now when students go back to the course home, boom, the Welcome window pops up, and they are forced to read this and maybe even click on these videos that I have before they move elsewhere in Brightspace. And when they're done reading it, they hit Dismiss, and the way this is designed is that once they see that the first time, they're not going to see it again. So until you come up with a new piece of information in your Welcome widget, they're only going to see it that first time, so it's not harassing them. And that's it. It's pretty powerful.